Great. So on the topic fast, cheap and viral, the art and science of going viral. On this topic, Aashish Chopra is a best-selling author on fast, cheap and viral. So you have a PPT? You have?
Finally, it worked. Thank you for waiting. And thank you for having me here. This is an amazing festival and I see a lot of energy and enthusiasm here. This is my first time in the city. So before I start, I just want to clear one thing. I'm not an expert in marketing. I'm just someone who got crazily obsessed about just one thing. So there is no gyan, there is no tips curated from the internet. There is no brain fart about how marketing should be, video should be, viral should be, because my work, the book, last 10 years has been connected to the word viral, and viral is very dangerous because it's not in our hands and I'm only as good as the last video. But one thing I learned in the last 10 years about marketing, how many of you struggle with marketing or want to build customer love for your brands and startups? Raise your hands. Alright, everybody is here for the free coffee. The number one rule of marketing, who can tell me? Anyone. That's the thing I learned from the trenches. What do you think is the number one rule of marketing? Understanding the customer. They don't know shit about you. What else? Relevant. What's the number one rule of marketing? Anyone? Authenticity. What else? What's the number one rule of marketing? Come on, think. Find out the customer. Bas, find it out. Great. What else? The number one rule of marketing is don't bloody do marketing. Because your audience doesn't give a shit about you. Right? Audience gives a shit about their life. All the people here who are building the startups, working in startups, building something amazing and growing that. You want customer love, don't you? You want that customer love, but the language we use, target market. Acquiring customers. Here, war reference, campaign is a military term. And you want your customers to love you back. So that's where I see the hypocrisy. And my journey started 10 years back. I was a dropout of college. So I had this job and my boss called me. And he said, Aashish, we have to let you go. And suddenly I had no job. I had no prospects, no blessings of a guru, no IIT degree on the wall. I was driving home that day without that job, with, fears and insecurities about what will come next. And I had an idea which was brewing in my mind for a long time. And the ideas which we have, the ones we are passionate about, those are the fucking last ideas we execute. We keep taking care of the world. Like you open an email inbox. How many of you check your email every day? You open your email inbox, it's the whole world's priority there, not yours. Right? So, in that moment of nothing left to lose, I had this idea, so I executed that idea. So I made that video, and that video when it was released went viral. It was an accidental viral. So I was on the radio in the morning, radio in the evening. It was the happiest and the scariest time of my life. Happiest because I was in the video. So people were recognizing me on the streets. Black t-shirt, orange Tata Nano. And scariest because if the next video does not work, then I'm a one-hit wonder. So I got obsessed about why did that video work? Why did that video go viral? And in the last 10 years, it's been that obsession which led to 80 viral videos. Because in the whole game of marketing, we just need to focus on just one thing, which impacts all your numbers. Right? And that one thing, you cannot buy. You cannot spend money, you can spend money on advertising. You cannot buy customer love. Imagine your startup is like a plane, right? You keep pumping money in advertising, that's like fuel and the plane keeps flying, right? One day investor says, enough spending money on this, the burn rate has to come down, so you switch off the engines. Now if your plane still keeps flying, that's because of customer love and the brand you built. And it goes down, it was very transactional from the beginning. So I'll show you the first video. I used to live in Delhi, work in Gurgaon, so there was a toll plaza. Everybody aware of a toll plaza? You have to pay toll. So I started paying toll for the cars behind me. And I captured that. So here's the video. That was a great experience. Everybody in Delhi NCR started doing that. They started, thank you, paying for the car, toll for the cars behind them, right? So it was on the radio. It became, tiny movement of sorts. But there was just one scenario where this guy paid toll for a girl. The girl stopped the car, threw the money. That I have money, and that's Haryana. Other than that one Haryana incident, it was received well. So at that time, I just made one video, right? So at that time I joined this travel company called Ixigo, right? Ixigo has travel apps. So at that time, April Fool was coming up, right? And that's when I realized that I never had a problem with boss in my entire life. I just hated an excited boss. Because when your boss is excited, the bar is really high. So we thought, okay, April Fool is coming up. Why don't we launch a fake product? So we thought, okay, it's a travel company. Travel company will release a fake product. So we released an executive class auto rickshaw back then. I'll show you that.
If you live in a big city or travel to one, taking an auto rickshaw is an experience you must have had. From hailing an auto, to the bargaining, to the bumpy ride, we've all been there. Imagine if we take this experience and upgrade it to a little more fun, a little more executive class. So here's what we did.
Yeah, it was all fake. And if something works, the boss gets excited every year now. So every year we had to create fake products which were working better than the actual fucking products. So that's how the journey started, right? The first video I put 3 cameras on the car, that's how I shot it. Can you imagine everybody covered it, being featured right to below the CEO of Microsoft and the guy who sold WhatsApp to Facebook. The pressure, the world, the alumni, the friends, the family, the relatives, everybody thinking, what will he do next? And I had fucking no idea, what will I do next, right? But I had 2 videos which had gone viral. So I thought I've cracked the code. Viral is easy, right? If something is in the news and you do something about it, it can go viral. A journalist might pick it up and it can go viral. But that's been the story for the last 50 years. If you do something, a journalist writes in a newspaper, it becomes mainstream. There has to be more to that. And I was very naive about that. That's when the obsession started about experimentation. Right? Because I had to unlearn a lot. I had no MBAs, right? So I had nothing to unlearn from the MBA bullshit. But because the game was changing very fast, because the game of digital audience, digital behavior was changing very fast, right? You could not find that in a book written 20 years back. So I got obsessed about why did it work, what to focus on. Because viral, everybody loves, it's a very abused word in the industry, like love is an abused word in relationships. Everybody wants love, everybody wants a viral, right? But what do you focus on? That you get a result which is viral. Imagine there's a comedian, right? Your laughter is not in his hands. Right? He can crack a Japanese joke, you won't know. You will not laugh. But the only thing in his hands is the setup and the punchline, the performance, the structure. So I got obsessed about what do you focus on? That the result, the outcome is a video or a content which goes viral. That's the story. But why is viral marketing important? Because our audience is spending 28 hours a week on mobile devices, or not on TV or on print. But whenever a startup gets massive funding, they go on fucking TV to burn all that money. Right? And this data is from 2017. So how do you act? Because these 2 mediums are one-way mediums. You can put an advertising on radio, TV, or news, it's fine. This is 2-way. If you make a mistake, they'll come back and say, your company should go to hell, especially on Twitter. Right? So, it's very responsible about understanding that this is where the audience is and this is where the game will be played. And that's how platforms work for people who are new to this whole thing. That imagine you, your brand, your startup, your company, you have a mic in your hands. Right? And you have something amazing to say. But the platform, Instagram, Facebook, all these social platforms where all the user attention is, they control the volume of the speakers. So for example, if I say something, only the first row got to say what I said right now. Because they already control the volume of the speaker. It's like, pay us money, boost. So more people can hear it. Because all social platforms are in the business of reach. They don't owe you anything. Like my father was like, I'm posting on LinkedIn, I get only 3 likes. I'm like, what are you, Shah Rukh Khan? Why would people like or comment or engage with your content, right? So the whole game is that if you say something and the first row starts telling the row behind them, no platform in the world can stop the organic sharing of content. And that's the focus, that's the obsession, which matters. Here are some challenges I had pasted on my wall in the office for many years. Whatever you create, you can create an image, you can post on LinkedIn, you can post on Facebook, you can create your product video, you can create whatever you want to create. It will go in an overwhelming, dense content. Right? Like I was traveling on a train the other day, everybody's hooked on their phones, right? There's chaos happening in the life of a user, right? There's family, there's EMIs, there's health, there's parents, there's relatives, there's wives, there's kids. On top of that, there's chaos on a tiny screen. And you want their attention and then you want to meaningfully engage with them. Next is the bullshit radars have evolved. How many of you remember the India of the 80s and 90s? Alright, so for the rest of you, there was an India of 80s and 90s where we all used to collectively sit and watch TV. Like these days, me and my wife are watching the same web series in different rooms. So can you imagine an India family of 4 or 40 watching a TV, and there was was just one TV channel. So when the first advertisement came up, we did not know what this was. We were watching Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bajaj is coming in the middle. Imagine being that family. Then in 90s, multiple channels came on the screen. Zee TV, ESP, plethora of 200 channels. That's when a remote control was born. A remote control is nothing but a bullshit detector. You're watching something comes in, an ad comes, you change the channel. I've seen movies with songs fast forwarded. Because the police is catching the hero and then he has for 5 minutes to sing a song. You know it's bullshit. So the bullshit radars in our head are so far evolved now that whenever you see an iota of bullshit, alt tab, you're gone. You get a newspaper, you start with the first, just take the first 6 pages and then you start. Because there's been so much mistrust created by advertising industry that whenever anything comes from a brand, this is their line jhoot bol. Right? How do you pierce that? If nobody trusts what you're saying as a behavior, how do you actually get their attention to do something meaningful? What is the opposite of bullshit? Anyone? What's the opposite of bullshit? Real. What else? Tell me, what's the opposite of bullshit? Because the opposite of that will work, right? Because the opposite of bullshit is why the internet works, why social works, why app works. When there's an earthquake, you don't open Aaj Tak. You open Twitter, right? Because that's the opposite of bullshit. So the opposite of bullshit is what? True, authenticity. And that's it. So if you focus on just truth, sachai, authenticity in your content, in everything you do, you will have your audience by your side because everybody else is lying to them. And then there's no attention span, no trust. When you know these challenges, you will be at peace because why is nobody liking my video, liking my content? Let's increase the size of the logo. Nobody gives a shit. You want a relationship with this audience without investing something. It's like you go on a first date and the first thing you say, will you marry me? Because you want that conversion from audience, right? There is no relationship. How do you build a relationship? So when you're aware of these challenges, these are the 7 core fundamentals, rules, best practices, which I obsess about, which are part of the book as well. So here's an example for you. Say for example, you're in charge of creating a billboard outside the airport for your company, for your brand, or making a video, or creating an image, or sending an email newsletter, whatever it is. Let's say a billboard. What do you think should be the objective of the billboard? Anyone? What do you think should be the objective of that billboard? Just tell the answers. Walking, talking, the billboard should talk to you. Okay? Sure, AI. Sorry? Attention. Attention, though you write a, expletive word and you get attention and you'll be fired. But attention, that's one. That's really important. What else? Sorry? Branding, that it should matter to us because you're spending so much time buying that space. What else? Convey the message, that's the lowest bar. Because you just convey the message standing in the corner. This is what we do. Many people, copy paste the about us page of their website. What's the objective of that? Anyone? See, the objective of that is not for people to see. Because that's the wrong objective. We don't want people to see. We don't want people to watch our videos. Curiosity, late to the game, but sure, thanks. Engage. Remember. They don't even know you and you want them to remember you. Introduce the product as if they care. Nobody cares, sir. Do you care if I give you a product right now? You will not give a shit about that because you give a shit about your life. So if you need to introduce your product, the focus has to be on them, not on the product. So relatability, okay. See, the goal of that billboard, the goal of the video is not for people to see, not for people to watch the video. It's for them to share it. Because when somebody shares your content, when he shares, takes a picture, puts on Twitter, that's when you have brand ambassadors who take your message forward. As startups, we don't have money. 100 crore lying around. If you have, let me know, we'll have a chat. But you don't have money. And when you don't have money, that's the best time for creativity to shine. We are forced to be creative. Like the first video which went viral, I didn't even have a camera. I borrowed a phone from a friend to shoot that video. When the next video hit millions of views, I was given a camera. Right? So the first rule is, it has to be worthy of sharing. But again, share worthy is very subjective. It's like creativity is very subjective. Mera wala pink is different from tumhara wala pink. When a boss says this is share worthy, boss doesn't know shit. Because boss is just 10, 20 years of applied common sense. Right? So if you think from the perspective of audience, what is share worthy? And that's how we broke it into 5 categories. Inspirational, useful, celebrate their life, topical, and change the world. If something is really inspirational, the audience wants to be the first one to share it. And the category I love the most is useful. You know, if you don't remember this, and just remember one thing, you have to get obsessed about making an exhaustive list about the pain points of your audience. Exhaustive list about the pain points of the audience. Because when you do that, that's where the magic is. Everybody else is your competition, they're talking about the obvious stuff. I'll give you an example. We had to create a video about hotels. How many of you stayed in a hotel in the last 1 month? Right? When you stay in the hotel room, what are the pain points? Tiny challenges, tell me. Pain points. What? Too many switches. How many of you taken a shower? You don't know maintenance is work like, right? What else? Wi-Fi doesn't work. Have you seen the bed sheets? They all were already tucked in. Like छोटे चीजें. What are the minute things? What else? Check-in. Okay. You're supposed to go to review, sir. Hotel is not even allowing you to check in right. No key card. So we explored in depth what are the tiny pain points. And then I was in Goa at a fancy property, 40,000 rupees a night. And my wife called me. She's like, oh, please bring those shower caps. I'm not that pretty 30 rupees shower cap. Because nobody ever told us what you can take from the hotel room or what you can't. You can take tiny soaps. You cannot take a fucking bulb. Right? So we made a video around that, and then there was an incident in Bali where this family was caught stealing, and we had this video. And this went crazy. This played on Zee TV the second day and on a US TV show the third day. And made on a budget of 7,500 rupees. I'll show you this video.
People help themselves to stuff in hotel rooms. You know who you are. But after one family in Bali was caught swiping everything from soap dispensers to electronics, the hotel released this guy. Take a look.
This was a 3-minute long video which went crazy around the world, right? Because it's about those pain points. And 5-10 pain points are very easy. You have to deep dive. And one thing I've learned, if you want your brand or your content or videos to go really big, you really have to go deep down and understand the audience with an obsession. Walk in their shoes. For example, we had to make a video on trains. How many of you have traveled a train in the last 1 year? Now traveling in trains, what are the tiny pain points? Because the usual ones we googled it. Right? We sat around the boardroom, okay, what are the pain points? Then we took that sheet and somebody traveled by train for 2 days and validated that. Do you give a shit about your audience or not? Because when it comes to your product, there is an obsession of user experience and doing the right thing. But when it comes to marketing communication, we outsource it. हमें नहीं आता, we don't know marketing. You know marketing, you know your audience. You just need to connect those dots. So we made this video, and that video was shared by the Railway Minister of India. Right? Organically. So the government thought we had Chan, we had nothing. Because you can't get anybody to share your content. You can't get your life. I can't get my wife to share a video. Yeah. I can't. Can you? Go to your spouse and say, share this video. No. once, twice maybe, right? Because you have to earn that share. I went to this company and they, I was doing a workshop and the chief marketing officer was there. He's like, I'm like, आपके video पे 2 million views, congratulations. Like, beaming with pride, thank you very much. I'm like, 2 people have shared it. How many people work in your company? Like 200. I'm like, 198 people of your own bloody company didn't find it relevant. And you compare me, Facebook has changed now. Things are different. Back in our day, fuck back in the day. This is not working. How do you get somebody to share? You have to earn that share. At least from our own audience first. Because if your audience doesn't find it valuable, relevant, not worthy of sharing, then you will end up spending a lot of money. You'll end up spending a lot of money. Give to platforms, give to TV, give to the hoarding space to get the reach so people can see it. Seeing is not the goal, it's an expensive proposition for startups. We want people to share it. And getting to that is the magic we want in our brand, in our startup, in the whole game. And that's how you compete with big companies. Because for big companies, they have, like, in the last 1.5 years, I realized big companies have big processes and small companies have big dreams. Right? So if you have big dreams, if you give a shit about your audience creating the right product, from the same obsession, connect the dots and create something worthy of sharing. I'll give you an example. So, you remember I showed you the April Fool video? So next year, the boss was like, we have to do, excited boss again, right? We have to do something in April Fool. So we created a fake pair of shoes. We had 10,000 orders of this fake pair of shoes in one day because an April Fool video will not work on 2nd April. It has to be made on that day. And here's the video which went crazy. Fake. Yeah, 10,000 products. If you search Amazon weeks ago, which should never happen because it's such a travel company, you find these shoes. Right? So these are the 5 categories when you want to get started, right? I use CTC. You use CTC, cost to company, nobody can ever forget if you had a job. So, inspiration, useful, celebrate the life, topical and change the world. Useful is about deep diving on the pain points, exhaustive pain points, so basic pain point, 200 pain points. And the ones which you cannot solve, you celebrate, right? I've been told to rush really fast, which I don't like, but sure. Second is storytelling beats production value. Because for a tiny screen, you don't need to become a Hollywood director. You just need to focus on storytelling because your audience is hunting for storytelling, not for a brand. Give them storytelling, get their attention meaningfully, and then of course you can integrate your brand. Of course, this whole exercise is not, there is no brand, if we run an NGO just to get the engagement from audience. Of course, brand matters, but in a relevant way. So we had to make a video about Hyderabad, right? Now, what ideas come to you for the first time to make a video about Hyderabad? Anyone? Biryani, charminar, all the first ideas are wrong ideas. No offense. I'm just saying because the first ideas come from your programming. Right? If you've seen certain type of movies, if you've seen Lonely Planet about travel, so that's when a realization was born that the videos will not be about Hyderabad, but people who go to Hyderabad. Not be about travel, but people who travel. Not about a bank, but personal finance. Right? Not about B2B SaaS sales helping product, about people who struggle with sales. It has to be about them, not about you. Because let's see, a lot of these B2B companies, posting these product videos masquerading as content on LinkedIn. This is how a typical B2B video is. My name is Bob. Bob has a problem. Bob's used our product. Bob is happy again. Let's fuck Bob. Nobody gives a shit to that Bob story anymore. You're not even engaging with your audience. You're just peddling a product video. Let's just show what our product can do. Nobody is waiting. Like many people tell me, oh, what should we like? This pressure about posting these many reels, these many. I'm like, nobody is waiting for our content. Nobody is waiting. Right? So do the right thing or don't do it. So Hyderabad, we thought the first thing which happens when you land in Hyderabad is the language. So we made a video about how to speak Hyderabadi in a minute, which is not a language, but it's a slang. It's a very cultural thing for Hyderabad, and that video went crazy. So we made it into Bengali, we made it into Kannada, we made it into Malayalam, we made it into Lucknowi and Kanpuri. I'll show an example. This video we thought was about Hyderabad, but Hyderabad is not a city, it's a culture around the world. So was Malayalam. Malayalam is not about Kerala. It's around the world. Everybody was introducing their culture in a minute to their spouse, to their co-worker around the world, especially girls.
അയ്യോ അറിയ ഞാൻ നിങ്ങൾ പെണ്ണെ ചെക്ക ഇതിലും
Baki watch it at home, you have internet. I'm running out of time, okay? So next is move fast and engage. Move fast and engage because the audience doesn't have time. If within 3 to 6 seconds you didn't come on the point and take them on a journey, the person is gone. So when you do the deep dive about your audience, you will have a lot of research. Because the definition of creativity is an idea is born when two dots connect, but have very good quality dots first. If you have never heard classical music, how can you imagine fusion music? So you need those dots about your audience. So when we made a video about trains, exploded amazingly. But again, you can reimagine that. So we made a video imagining the train users. People who travel in trains. If you had to go to Mars or go to Moon or travel in space, how would it be? And we just took the same insights and that went crazy. Okay, watch it at home now. So that's move fast and engage. Next is make for mobile. Make for mobile is very simple. It's about make for a tiny screen. Because for a tiny screen, the user experience is very different than a big screen. Because when we're working on anything, we're working on a big screen. But walk in the shoes of the audience. Like many times I go in trains, I see that, how everybody is busy with their mobile devices. Right? It could be a 2 crore video with a celebrity or a video made with, a phone in your pocket. Both go up like this. It's all about stopping the thumb from swiping up, and you can't buy that with money. Right? So, make for mobile. Here's an example. There's a company called Cars24. They're about sale and purchase of cars. So the video has to be about people who drive cars. How many of you have been in a car in the last 1 year? So we had to come up with pain points, minute, tiny micro moments of people who drive cars, love cars, or sit in cars, right? So beyond the usual, when we got obsessed about that, here's the pain point which came up, which is truly Indian, because that's what our audience is in this case. So here's a video which came from the same process.
Skorda. 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 Hyundai. Hyundai. Renault. Volkswagen. Volkswagen. Mercedes. Mercedes-Benz. Audi. Porsche. Porsche. Chevrolet. Toyota. Mahindra. Maruti. Lamborghini.
So that was that. The next is distribution strategy, and just two things to remember in distribution strategies. Of course, if you want LinkedIn to work for you, if you want Facebook, Instagram to work for you, make sure it's a win-win-win. Because if you start posting regularly, it's a win for the platform, because platform makes more money because of you. If you start posting share-worthy content, people stick around longer on your content, platform makes more money because of you. It's economics. So if you do these two things, the chances of your brand, your profile staying longer in newsfeed is higher. But the number one rule for distribution when you create something is that we need to make sure our own community, friends and family in the beginning, eventually when you have employees, it should be worthy of sharing for them first. So we do a lot of creative exercises to help them share in the first place. I can't go into detail because I keep getting looks. Next is think conversations before campaigns. Because this entire social media is built around conversations. I have quick videos to show you, but I will not show you because you're running out of time. And seventh, please don't make an ad. People hate ads. You hate ads. We all grew up hating ads. Right? Celebrities are selling bloody pan masala. Right? They don't eat pan masala. But they want, like, isn't that distrust? Right? When you're creating whatever, don't create an ad. Create from their perspective. Create something which is worthy of sharing. Because what happens is, your brand goes along on that ride when people start sharing their content. Here's a video we made on Mother's Day. Right? And this went crazy. Let's take a look. It came from the same process of IUCTC. Thank you. When we released this video, a friend of mine called me, he works at an agency. He's like, great video, bro. Where did you shoot it? Who was the art director? Which building? I'm like, it's a bloody photo. We didn't spend anything on it. Because, where you are and where you want to be, that gap, the shortest distance between that is a killer idea. And you have to give a shit in walking that path and getting to that idea. If ideas started coming to everybody, then what's the point? Right? Everybody is born creative. But our education systems very methodically kills it. Isko rat ke jao. Mahadevi Verma, when did she die? She's dead now. Fuck. Thank you very much. We don't have time for questions? I'd like an hour to answer questions.
No, you can actually take questions offline.
Offline, yes, offline. Outside this room, there's the beach. See you there.
Honestly, I wanted to watch all the videos, but with a short of time, somebody is going to.
Let's do a photo.
Okay.
What is this shit? Everybody say shit, okay? Shit, okay? 1, 2, 3. You never say that.
The future of content, in a digitized economy, that event of Sijo Verghese will be after this particular event from Nikhil Khan, because there's a slight challenge with the flight that he want to take. So we'll have his session and then move on to the next one. So kindly adjust. So after Nikhil Khan's session, we will have the fireside chat with Sijo Verghese. All right. Yeah.